YouTube Nation, Archie here with another video, and this video has got to do with profiling and um, just judging the book by the looks of its cover. The other day I was out and about, and I was started not for the series of the King Philip War, but it was a video I put up, and it had it was in the King Philip War book I was reading. I think the person only put it in there for the fact to make a point of what Indian women used to do back then in the 1600s, and the story supposedly wasn't true. It was all fiction, but the foundation of the story is true. Like I said, about Indian women, and if they get rejected love by the Indian man, or rejected by love by the Indian man, the women would just go to a cliff and kill themselves. So I guess if a warrior, if a chief is picking their what they would call back then their squaw to become their wife, to become their squaw, I guess they'd go through the women and pick them, and whatever's left standing over, if they can't take a rejection, they go kill themselves right off a cliff. And that's what supposedly a woman wrote about the rock I was on. There was just a quick look over the story about a woman, Indian woman, falling in love with an Englishman. The Englishman telling her all kinds of stuff, and they were getting into love and blah blah blah. And he had to go off to the war, which was the King Philip War, and supposedly never came back. Now she sat there and waited because he said he would be back, and another soldier finally passed by and told the woman, as she asked, to say, "Where's the other soldier? Have you seen him?" And that soldier told her that, oh, he fell in love with a blonde woman and married her, and I guess he said something like he's never coming back. So right there, she just stood there, and the other soldier rode off, said no more. And then she stood there with her blank face staring into space. That expression. She literally jumped off the rock and broke her neck. Now, like I said, they say the story's true, but who knows? Because right down the street was a farmhouse, a big part in the King Philip War, because the person there, Lieutenant Williams, set that farm up not only to make Indians work for him, of planting his crops and vegetables and stuff. He also had a great view of Mount Wachusett, which was the stronghold of the war, and where King Philip perched himself to start the whole, well, he didn't start it there, but to start the band of tribes, to get them together and fight that war they started. But anyways, as I was doing that video and telling the story and finishing up, someone had called the police. Suspicious activity throughout the town of Harvard. Now I get the picture. Cops get a suspicious call. Nowadays, hey, you got all kinds of freaks out there, all kinds of suicide bombers, all kinds of shit, and I expected it. I did not know that the property I was on was owned by the house behind me. I did not know that because it's more or less to the side of the road, to where I was, and I thought the town owns all that. So me hey, I mean, it's just a rock. I'm climbing it, doing a story, get out of there, and that's that. But, I get the picture. Someone calls, and they got to do their job. And I'm not um, pissed off about that. I'm not whatever. They doing their job. What I am pissed off of is the comments he came out with due to the fact of a 10-year-old case I was in and was dismissed. But due to the seriousness of the case, I guess it stays on your record. I know that because I have other things on my record that are just too far gone to explain. And if you were hearing them, you'd probably say, holy shit, this guy's fucking crazy. I'm sure if I ever make it big, everybody's going to know my past, just like everybody's past that comes up. But, anyways, this time, I was at the wrong place at the wrong time. And the story goes, the cop had said something very ignorant, rude, and shown a little bit of stupidity of himself, which I will call him a retard. And I'm not labeling retards as people think and say as a mentally handicapped person or a Down syndrome person. No. I put in the retard as a new term in the dictionary, and I hope Webster puts it in Webster Dictionary of retard of a person knowing wrong from right, but does wrong anyways. So that means, right, if you go off and you think you're a funny man or a woman and doing what in this situation, breaking into people's houses and stealing their shit, and yeah, you know wrong from right, but you're gonna do it anyways, breaking these houses, because that's the whole thing of this story. But I'll get into that after. Well, there's a fucking retard for you. Anyways, so the story of my case is, I'll have to explain it, because people want to know, well, what do you do? And like I said, I was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. And I won't mention no names in this, so I will refer to it as Woman A, Woman B. Now, Woman A is the mother. Woman B is the daughter. I was hanging around with the daughter. And Woman A, at the time, now this is very important to know, that if anybody in a family has a death, in this case, these two, Woman A, Woman B, had a very recent death about 3 months before. And anybody in the fucking family that has a death, and oh my god, you get the stupid people that are just the retards, that are just, oh, I want this, I want that, I need this, I'm not this. They're in there and they're at each other's throats, and the things come out of this person that died, that they were the peacekeeper of the family, and now they're dead. Fuck you, I'm gonna kick your fucking ass, you suck, I don't like you. And everything explodes at a fucking funeral. Or if you're in a dysfunctional family now, I mean, not go out of proportion, blow it all out of proportion, but when you're from a dysfunctional family, and in this case, Woman A, the mother, was on crack, coke, all kinds of pills, popping shit, and we all know what crack does to people, and that's the worst drug you can get hooked on. And I wouldn't be surprised if she was on heroin too. So, in that case, she was on all these kind of drugs at the time, definitely crack, and crack makes you fucking do the most dumbest goddamn things in the world. Retard. And, well, go figure. Woman B, the daughter, wants to go visit Woman A. So we get to Woman A's house. Now, due to the death, and now the mother, long gone, over 3 months overdue of just, drugging it up. Woman B goes in to visit, since that's, obviously kind of a typical thing to do. If you want to go visit your mother, what do? You go visit her. And where the Woman B grew up in this household all her life, probably the, one of the only houses she ever's known, She's told me stories about the grandmother being the greatest thing in the world. Right. And she has fond memories of that, living in that house, staying at that house. It goes on and on. It's just a family quarrel. Family quarrel. And like I said, if you're in a family quarrel and you get into one of these big battle rages or even a fight and you knock each other out or beat each other up, police do not get involved with that. Alright? But in this case, it got so far out of control that the woman A decides to fucking call the cops because she wants to take woman B and smash her face off a threshold door. The threshold in holding the door, smashing her face now. Just literally shoving it. And I mean shoving it. Come out when I seen her face is all bruised up. Now, woman A does this, and anybody in their right mind to defend themselves, alright? I know I would. I mean, if it was a woman that did it to me, I do other methods and means that I don't beat up women, but if a guy, slammed my face in the door case of a threshold, I would be off the wall, turn around, that's it. It's on. It's on. Anybody in their right mind that would not do nothing, well, something's wrong with you, get some help. Because if you're going to take a fucking shove like that into a a wooden door frame and come out bruised up, and you don't do nothing, well, then there's something wrong with you. But anyways, a fight breaks out. Boom! I goes up to the window, because it's pretty much September time. It's still warm out. One of them was, they were like open up like this to get a little air in. So I go in there and I hear all this commotion. Sticking my head near the window saying, hey, come on, get out of there, Chris. I'm telling the girl, come on, woman B, let's go. We don't need this. We don't want to go to jail. I'm trying to get her out of there. All of a sudden, a bat comes smash through one window. And I'm over there looking, I'm like, what the fuck? I looks back in the window. It just happened so fast, and I'm still at that other window, and I'm looking in, and bang! Something hit me in the head. It was a bat. So I'm sitting there like, you motherfucker. So, alright. I goes around to the front door, and I don't know if woman B had gotten hit with the bat. Everything sounds like it's calming down in there or something, but I still hear some stuff. So it goes in there, and then there's this guy, which is woman A's boyfriend, supposedly, with a baseball bat, looking at me, holding it in the air high over his head. I'm looking around looking for woman B, trying to say, hey, where the hell is she? And I'm calling her. Like I said, I'm not mentioning no names. I'm calling her out. Let's go. Let's get out of here. The guy's like, fucking come on. I'm saying, motherfucker. I'm telling him, I got a few words in. You want to use that bat on me? Use it. Because if you hit me once, I said, you're going down. And, I said some words and blah, blah, blah. But in the meantime, all of a sudden, woman B comes out from the other rooms. So she's over there telling me that her woman A slammed her in the door case. Woman A did this. Woman A did that. I said, wow, let's get the hell out of here. Well, and I was saying let's get to the police or whatever. But in that time frame of me going in and arguing with this stupid frickin' prick with the bat, cops were already called, didn't know that. So, there you go. Cops come in behind me and they got their guns drawn on me. So I just immediately drop down. They're telling you, get down, hands behind your back, and I no problem, bang, hands on my head. And they come in, who broke the fucking windows? And they're screaming at me. Like I said, he's got the bat, he broke them. I'm like, what the fuck you mean? Do I look like I got something to break fucking windows? I'm kind of sitting there yelling at him like, fuck you. So I get the cuffs on me. They bring me outside, but there's a couple cops there. And here's where the story is of how, I've got a past. I ain't got a shame to hide it, but cops know me in Fitchburg. And now they're starting to talk to me. What the hell's going on, man? Blah, 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 blah. So, we all gotta get arrested. I go to jail. I told them the story, but I still go to jail because whatever the woman A said, well, turns out the woman A got me on charges of home invasion and a break-in. And just because she got her ass kicked and handed to her, it came out like that. But when the court date came, woman A, of course, got to get off her drugs, because if she goes testifying all screwed up, oh geez, don't think I wouldn't have pointed that out and said, hey, this is what she was on when she's at the house. And people on crack don't look too smart and don't talk too swift, I can tell you that. I've seen people talk on that stuff and it's like talking to a friggin' person from the dentist. So yeah, she straightened up. She went into court. Somehow she straightened up. I don't know how she stayed straight for that time, but woman A dismisses the whole case. Nothing ever happened. Okay, whatever. Great. So 10 years later, it catches up on me. So here I am. I'm doing my video, and because of this story, the cop, I'm talking to the cop and saying, so hey, how you doing, officer? How's everything going? And he's like, oh, doing this, and what are you doing? And I had a suspicious call. I said, well, I'm just doing a video, and I thought this was town property. He goes, no, that house behind there owns it, and blah, blah, blah. I said, well, I didn't know, and all I'm doing is a video, and I said, I'm already done with it, and I kind of should have warned the towns I go in, but I don't know. I've lived throughout them towns, good time of my life, at least 12, 13 years in area, and gone through Harvard multiple times. Yeah, I should have called in and said what I was doing, but I didn't know there was break-ins, like I said earlier, going through this area. If that was the case, I would have called. I would have said what I was doing. But where, on the side of the road is the side of the road, and that's usually town property. Well, hey, I just figured, bang, I just get up there, get out, ain't doing nothing. But in this case, what really gets my ass on this, not just the friggin', takes my license and checks it. I didn't have no problem with that. I don't care about that. It's just, right, these days it's a common procedure now. You have to do things like that, but to come back and to say what he said is where I do not like. And I don't know, I did the right thing by keeping my mouth shut, not telling him to go fuck himself, because that's what I wanted to do. And just because of this case, because he comes up after taking my license and says, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, because why would a cop come up and say, alright, I checked your thing, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. And usually a cop would say, alright, you're clean, we can go ahead. So, just next time, maybe, check in with us or whatever. And he did ask me where I was going to go next before, he came out with this little rude comment. But yeah, I told him I was going into air. I said near the main gates of Fort Devens there's a barn house that used to sit across the street from that main gate. If anybody ever goes by it, there's a big electrical boxes, transformers across the street, and that's where the barn house and house used to sit for the farmer that lived there. And I told him that, and just because I told him that, and because of what he looked up in my 10-year record, he comes back and says, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. He says, there's been a series of break-ins around here. And that's when I found out there was break-ins around there. As soon as he said that, I said, I didn't even know that. Wow. And he said, and because you have a break-in, meaning the break-in home invasion, that means this cop did not look at the full record that they should be doing, that it was dismissed, Whether or not I was there, whether or not it's on my record, someone should even have the time and decency to look that it was dismissed, but he didn't. And he said, you know what? I said, well, that was a family matter, and and woman B was with me again. And, he even said, and you. And, he said that I don't care if this is a first time matter. He says, to me, that's it. One time is enough. Meaning, if you broke in or you didn't break in, but it's there, that's enough for him to say, you're trouble. And he literally labeled me like that. He profiled me like that. He didn't care if it was one time. He didn't even care if it was dismissed. And I told him that was dismissed. Alright, and I started saying, and that was a family matter. He said, I don't want to even hear it. One time's enough for me. And he also said that really pissed me off and really labeled me and profiled me. He said, that right there is just like a first time murder. And I'm like, wow, you just didn't even fucking go there. He's gonna put what I did next to a first time murder. I mean, to come out and say this is just a shock, for one. And who the fuck is this cop to just come out and without evidence, without knowing me? And I mean, yeah, you just don't go pushing on the law like that, because you know what? If you're gonna do that, you need to make the arrest. You need to have a court date. You need a judge, or you need a jury. And he made himself that day the judge, the jury. And I'm fucking for sure surprised he didn't make himself the executioner. And that just really disturbed me into thinking, what the fuck is your problem? What? I mean, I get it. There's terrorists out there, and they do worse things than I do, but to label me like that, that's horseshit. And then at that, he got the gall to say, go back to the town you came from. And the most important thing of what he did with all this and saying that it's close to murder, he put me on radar. I'm like, what? Radar? So that means he put out an APB to all the towns that, oh, this guy's doing videos, and the suspects haven't been caught yet. So if you find this vehicle with this man in your town, that means they can, what? Arrest me? Bring me back to the station, question me when a crime happens in that town. I'm just driving on through, minding my own business. Holy shit. He just made him the judge and the jury. He just, I'm putting it out there. Yeah, that's right. I put you on radar. How the fuck can you do that? How can an officer just do that? Bang, you're on radar. I don't understand it. I don't get it. And I know for a fact that you need to go to court for that. But he did it anyways, because he's the law. And the twist of this story that makes it good for me now is when I went home, I don't know, I just went over and turned on the fucking TV. The news was on. Something told me turn on the TV. And when I turned on that TV, what did I see? A man and a woman. The woman got caught stealing in Lancaster. Stole picture frames of a baby in its ultrasound, in its firstborn pic, and all the pictures of a baby newborn, and all them pictures were stolen from frames. They did get him back, I guess, I heard, but the man is still on the run. Woman, man. Series of break-ins. Lancaster, one of the surrounding towns of Harvard. Me, I would never step into a person's home intentionally to break in, due to the fact, because if they got kids, or if it's elderly, or if it's just some simple souled person that puts themselves away from the horrors of this world, and just want to live their life in a normal way. I couldn't see of looking into the face of these three individuals, children, elderly, or just a common soul that's good to this world, and terrorize them and traumatize them for the rest of their life, seeing me with a mask coming in their house, hey, I'm robbing you, and no, I wouldn't even be able to live with that on my fucking conscience. No way. I never robbed a house, and I never will. Ever. And this cop labeled me first time breaking, that's as bad as murder, and yeah, you're on radar, and I just can't believe he just did all that. I called the chief of police. He's gonna look into it. I know what the cop's gonna do. I didn't say that. I didn't do that. I didn't da. He's gonna fucking probably deny everything. Or he's just gonna say, I just told him, watch your steps and come up with something simple. Yeah, the cop said, the chief of police said yesterday when I got a call back from him that he don't tolerate that stuff. And yeah, I'm sure they're gonna say that too after all these cop situations that been happening. But hey, you just don't go do that and think you're the judge and the jury on the fucking street when you don't know a person. Yes, I got a bad record, but guess what? My stuff and everything that I have on my record is either due to self-defense or just a public drunkenness, stupidness that I've done of a 17-year drinking problem. And self-defense, and I mean self-defense. I never went off and beat someone up just because I didn't like them, of their looks, their race, their color, their breed, their fucking no. I don't do that. But when someone puts their hands in my face or someone gets in my face, yeah, I'll knock you the fuck out. That's it. You want to say words, you want to try touching me, I don't like being touched. Don't touch me. You're going down. And that's it. Self-defense. And that's what a lot of shit's on. But this cop, first time of anything, better watch out for him in Harvard. Anyways, YouTube Nation, I had to bring that story about because, I understand, like I said, I understand the world's coming to a friggin' tension zone. Everybody's is on radar. You gotta watch out. There are people out there that are fucking crazy that will just flip on the dime or just, I got the bomb, boom, Hey, you can't fucking trust nobody no more. But you gotta do it through the right system, and that's the judge, the jury. You gotta make your arrest. You can't just fucking harass people like that, and that's bullshit. I'm not gonna, if I ever get pulled over for this matter, and I don't know, if it ever comes up to another town, I swear to God I'm gonna sue that fucking town for everything they got. Because I'm not going to be labeled as a criminal, a break-in, or anything else just because some jackass wants to be a fucking hero or thinks he's a hero and he ain't. But, anyways, I got to get out of here. And, yeah, like I said, if that ever happens to me through some town and I get a cop saying, hey, you're a thief. We had a break-in in here, a couple days ago. Where were you? Someone's going to be talking to my lawyer and someone's going to be getting a lawsuit on their ass because if I get labeled and radared as that, because, like I said, I never do that to a person. I couldn't stand to see a kid with his face in fear. No, that's just sick. I'm not that sick. I am sick of my own ways, and that's due to people like the crackheads and like these druggies and like these people that think they're the big bad boogeyman and want to scare and terrorize people. They made me. I'll go after them before I go after the innocent. I'll knock them the screw off the fucking wall and I'll throw them in a fucking trash bin just because of the simple fact they're terrorizing children, elderly, and people that are just common sense people with just a way of living is all they know is just work, go home, and be normal. Me, I'm not normal. I didn't grow up normal. I grew up in a world of the fucking tracks and under the tunnel And hey, I am who I am, but never would I break into someone's home, and I don't ever want to be labeled like that again. Until the next video, YouTube, like I said, the series of the King Philip War, I'm going to be trying to start that soon. If not, I said in my video, try it by next summer, or therefore. But to all the good cops, salute. Military, salute. To all the good people out there, salute. Take care. See you on the next video.